Welcome to 5-Star Weekly. LA United have been turned down more times than screeched by Lisa Turtle, but we reportedly have a player through the door. We'll get into all that more coming up. Welcome to the show, 5-Star fam. I'm AJ.
Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube.
This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern.
5-Star fam, we'll try to get through this as quick as possible because we really only have a couple days for this to live, but you gotta love MLS scheduling, and yeah, it's just one of those things. But guys, we have a Patreon, and you can join us for some fun tiers and an exclusive Discord community. Patreon.com/ATLUTDfantv, and join us and see you there. But guys, let's get into the CF Montreal match review. It was, not a really fantastic start by our Five Stripes. Definitely auspicious. Going 2-0 down on some very lax marking / effort defensively. It definitely was not boding well for a large part of the match, but LA United were able to come all the way back and level it. But it is, I think, another just a symptomatic performance of our season, and we really, 12 games without a win is very dire. We have the fewest wins in MLS currently. It doesn't get more just depressing than that at the moment, even though in terms of standings, we're only 24th of 27th. We have a plethora of draws, though, so those are the kind of points that are propping us up from being bottom. But how far we have fallen, really. But getting into the match and its specifics. So Asta Saputo, we start off really poorly. Though we did have the first chance of the game. Ronaldo Hernandez, he found Moreno near the top of the box. Moreno gave a give and go with Josef Martinez, and then he nearly gets it in, pretty much trying to score on the near post. Not a bad effort, but scoreless first half, and then Montreal, they do what they've been decent at this season, and in the 53rd minute, Mason Toye, he scores against us, does his patented celebration, which is very annoying when he's not on your team. But, and then Rudy Camacho, he doubled the lead for Montreal in the 63rd minute. And, it seemed like we were headed for another drab away performance and results, but luckily Ezequiel Barco, who had returned to the squad, as well as George Bello and Brad Guzan over Alacan, to many of people's chagrin. But Ezequiel Barco, he did make a beautiful run on Josef Martinez's goal for our first goal, and much credit to him. Ezequiel Barco marauding direct. You can see how dangerous he is if he chooses to be so, and he made the right decision with a really, really beautiful ball to Josef Martinez with his left foot. Josef Martinez knows exactly what to do with it, and he puts it in the back of the net. Pretty much, just as ruthless as it comes. But, that's something that you want to see more of from Ezequiel Barco, and of course, Josef Martinez, as well. Like we've said, I think, in previous times, when he scores in bunches, and so this is a good sign. Unfortunately, what wasn't a good sign is what comes after, a little later and in the match, but we'll get to that in a second. But in the 82nd minute, you have, or just 10 minutes later from the 65th minute, Josef Martinez, he wins a penalty. He gets pretty much, just a little bit of contact, just enough in the box that he does win this penalty. Some may say it's soft, but it is what it is. It's you shouldn't push somebody in the box when he's pretty much in on goal, and he didn't make an effort towards the ball, and there you go. Josef Martinez wins the penalty for us, and we have a chance to level it. Marcelino Moreno is the man who steps up, and he puts it away with aplomb. Curiously, Josef Martinez didn't take it. It seemed like maybe he was still, because he was down a little bit afterwards, he was still brushing himself off. So Moreno, now our leading scorer in that way too. So, good to see Moreno really, I think, come on really hot in the last few matches, especially as Rob Valentino as his, as his head coach pretty much. But in terms of that incident that pretty much has a lot of Atlanta United fans and former players shaking their heads, it's the 82nd minute, and Josef Martinez and Victor Wanyama, they were involved in a scuffle, and it was in the goal, and there's some shoving going on, hands to neck from Wanyama. Josef Martinez pushes him back because, he ain't having it. He ain't fucking around with Josef Martinez. But basically, after some video review, the ref, who had pretty much lost the plot through the entire match, as he didn't call a lot of, I think yellow card offensible, fouls, definitely a lot of, frustration from the players throughout the match, and then you essentially have it all boil into what happens. You have the other red before that, and then I think that leads to pretty much you can't have, you can have, but basically the ref decided that Montreal, if they had 2 red cards, he probably wouldn't have made it out of the stadium. So Josef Martinez, I think very unfortunately, gets a red here as well after video review. Very, I think, perplexing, because it probably should have been only a yellow on Josef Martinez. But it definitely was a big kerfuffle near, the goal for Montreal, and so definitely it was, something that is just going to be quite annoying going forward without Josef Martinez for Columbus. But picking up from there, this was the second time this season for Atlanta United that we had all 3 DPs on the pitch. That's a bit outrageous, but it is kind of the microcosm of our season. That probably adds to why we have kind of the season that we do. But in terms of also another notable thing is that George Campbell made his second career MLS start for Atlanta United. And in terms of erasing a 2-goal deficit, this was the first time since September 19th against the San Jose Earthquakes. You can all remember that that 3-1 that reversed into a 4-3. That was definitely a crazy match. But this was also the third time in Atlanta MLS history that it came back from 2 goals to earn at least a point. And Josef Martinez scored his 4th goal of the season. Moreno scored his team-leading 5th goal, and Ezequiel Barco earned his 2nd assist. Now, an unusual stat by Mike Conti. Atlanta United has now played 78 minutes across all competitions with 10 men due to send-offs or injuries this season, and the number of goals conceded with 10 men have been 0. That's very, very interesting. But definitely, some reactions after the match for sure, but Rob Valentino he saw the video of Josef's red card and he said, quote, "I'm not going to comment on it. I know that just gets you in trouble, doesn't it?" And yeah, it's really disappointing that we don't have him potentially. And Captain Parkey also chimed in on Twitter. He said, "Ridiculous. Got hands around his throat and barely retaliated. Best goal scorer in league history. Shake my damn head." I mean, that's just, I think, when Parkey is saying it, I mean, you know, Parkey, he knows his shit. So it's very frustrating in that regard for sure. But yeah, we'll wrap this baby up. And next up for LA United is the Columbus Crew on Saturday. And we'll have that preview later on in this match. But let's get into the just plethora of rumors and the one transfer that's potentially and is reportedly coming through. But yeah, so in terms of, first off, head coach rumors, well, there are a couple. And that first one was, of course, last week with that Paulo Fonseca rumor. But it apparently, he rebuffed LA United's offer. He toured the training grounds, had dinner with Arthur Blank and everyone, but it seems like he is reportedly, yeah, wanting to kind of explore his European prospects first. And so he has turned down LA United, and it is what that is. You know, we'll, I mean, from a guy that, you know, pretty much had the Tottenham job, it, you know, it's always seemed like maybe this was a pretty big risk for Fonseca. So it's understandable, I think. But now Sam Stechgall, he reported that LA United reached out to the Seattle Sounders to request permission to interview assistant Gonzalo Pineda. And yeah, I mean, a guy who comes with a lot of good reviews from people around the league. And you know, there's fans of the Earthquakes and fans of other MLS teams that have been eyeing Pineda. And so, you know, it seems like a guy that not only knows this league, but has, you know, a good coaching pedigree in the sense that they like the way that the prospects are for him. And in this league, I think you need some, you know, a little bit of that experience in and around, you know, kind of the travel, the mechanisms of MLS, which are very frustrating for a lot of people, not only for the fans, but I'm sure for, you know, the front office folks alike. But, you know, it is something that needs to be, I think, addressed in that sense of, you know, a head coach. And so, you know, Gonzalo Pineda, what do you guys think? I mean, would it be a good hire? I mean, would it be someone that you want to see in? I mean, yeah, the reviews are apparently good for him, so why not possibly explore that option? But, you know, really, should this front office be making those decisions? Are these really just band-aids for what's inevitably coming for at least one of the front office members? We'll see. But let's get into the transfer rumors, and there were aplenty this week, for sure, in this small amount of time, because the August transfer window closes today. In fact, filming this on a Thursday. But yeah, basically, they LA United went from chasing Thiago Almeida to getting rejected by Ricardo Horta to pursuing Ferreira to closing in on a deal for Luiz Araujo. And yeah, it's just absolutely chaos in terms of our transfer window for sure. But starting with Thiago Almeida and that rumor. So essentially, Thiago Almeida, he, according to Felipe Cardenas and Fabrizio Romano, he probably will be not joining us in this window because of visa issues, and instead could be joining us in January. And so that would be fascinating in that, maybe we sell a DP in that time. But, it really is kind of been a whirlwind for Almeida as he was linked with Marseille. Cesar Luis Merlo, he even mentioned that he, is really close, might be coming, and then apparently that, the transfer didn't work out because of a work visa. It's just that's kind of a pretty short transfer saga, but transfer saga nonetheless for about a couple weeks. Definitely was a tasty one for sure. I think a player that, if Ezequiel Barco moved, it would be a good player to bring in a kind of young guy that has a lot of promise. But should we be bringing in guys that are a little bit more established, or maybe in the Josef Martinez ilk? Well, that's where these other guys were coming in terms of Horta, who turned us down, and in terms of Ferreira, who was apparently going to be signed. And, essentially, in that sense, LA United, they reportedly not only didn't offer enough, but didn't deposit the money when the time came to actually deposit it. They had a 5-year deal agreed with the player, and apparently, Gremio didn't receive anything. And so, the deal fell through, and now it's gone to the player from Lille, Luiz Araujo, who reports from Doug Roberson and Fabrizio Romano. Yes, Araujo will be an Atlanta United player. The announcement might come on Friday, but Brazilian winger, 25-year-old, tricky player that likes to cut in from the wing. Probably could play either wing as well for us, and a guy that's, the numbers weren't jump off the page, but he did start 17 matches of the 28 appearances that he had for the Ligue 1 winning Lille. And so, it's not a terrible return in that sense. If you have a guy that has, title-winning experience, I feel like. But the reported fee is $11.8 million. He's a player that, is he going to solve all our problems? Probably not, but, it seems like pretty much Arthur Blank is giving Carlos Bocanegra and Darren Eales a chance to pretty much kind of save their jobs a little bit, especially Boca. There's a chance that, if we can make a run, we could make the playoffs, but everything is pretty much dampened at this point in terms of expectations. There's pretty much failure after failure these 2 years, and time is clicking pretty much. Time is ticking, and I think it's pretty much very clear that there's been miss after miss, not only on players but on head coaches. So, at this point, heads need to roll, above those decisions as well. So, it's not fantastic, and it's definitely, it's a wait and see on how the player will perform. But anyway, moving on from that, last bit of news is that Miles Robinson has been selected as an All Star for the 2021 season. So congrats to Miles Robinson. He's had a hell of a week. He also didn't play the CF Montreal match, likely because he played 120 minutes for the U.S. men's national team in their Gold Cup winning run, and also he had the winning goal in the 117th minute for the U.S. men's national team. So congrats to Miles Robinson. We are all super duper proud of Robinson. Ridiculous turner for Robinson. Probably should have gotten player of the tournament, but probably was snubbed a little bit there. But anyway, let's wrap up the news and let's get into the match preview. So it's Columbus. it's on Saturday. It's August 7th at 7:30. And yeah, the MLS Cup reigning champions, they beat us last match against us 1-0. Definitely, probably a little unfair to us, as we probably could have gotten at least a result in that match. But yeah, they showed that kind of title-winning pedigree, I think, when they were able to kind of defeat us, especially on the road. It's tough, you know. But getting into some of their key acquisitions from the offseason: Kevin Molino, Bradley Wright Phillips, Alexandru Matan, and their one key loss was only Yunus Mokhtar. And so, yeah, definitely they're full strength with a lot of depth and a lot of guys coming back from international duty. So it's going to be an even tougher matchup for us, and especially without Josef Martinez, who will be out because of the red card. In terms of the other players out for us, Emerson Hyman, of course, Franco Ibarra, and Mo Adams. Questionable are Jake Mulroney and Brooks Lennon. But out for them, Aiden Morris, Artur, Milton Valenzuela, and Barry Kitchen. And questionable are Vito Vermgor and Josh Williams. But otherwise, yeah, they still have a lot of depth, and they're going to be a handful like they showed us. But definitely, you know, that starts with Lucas Zalarian, who, he definitely is, an important player for them, but a super, super dangerous player as well. That's, he showed his quality against us last match as well. Jonathan Nagbe, of course, another guy for them in midfield that we know all too well, and it will be, another handful for us. Lots of handfuls of just danger for for the Five Stripes to be able to kind of navigate on the road. But Gyasi Zardes also, of course, coming back from that Gold Cup winning run, and yeah, I mean, I suspect that he probably will be starting as well. But let's get into our starting 11, our predicted starting 11 rather. Can't speak today, but it's late at night while I'm recording this, so apologies for all this. But getting into that, I think it's to our chagrin, Alakan won't be probably playing. It'll be Brad Guzan. I think in terms of Valentino, we'll probably persist with that three-man back line, and so Franco stays in the 11. I think Miles Robinson comes in, and I think Walks keeps his spot as well. I think, Ronaldo Hernandez and George Bella will be the wing-backs. Josetu, I think, comes in here. And I think maybe Amar Sejdic probably, spells Santiago Sosa, who has looked absolutely exhausted and is not putting in the right balls. He's looked dire defensively. I think we need to bring in those fresher legs here, especially with just a couple days rest. But I think Moreno, will be that attacking midfielder. Ezequiel Barco maybe will play up top with Jackson Conway. I really hope we don't see Cubo Torres until later on in the match if we have to. But hopefully he does not start. But with all due respect to this MLS veteran, but still, it's just Cubo Torres. I mean, it's been pretty much zero production for us up top with him there. And unfortunately, with this match fact, it is just really rough. But Columbus have won the last 4 matches against us in all competitions. And Columbus have scored at least 2 goals in 6 of the last 7 home matches. So this really doesn't bode all too well for us. So I think in terms of our score prediction, I'm thinking it's a 2-1 loss, unfortunately. It's that's winless and 13, an unlucky 13. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below of the scoreline. But that pretty much does it for the match review and pretty much the entire show except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, did you think that the front office did enough in this transfer window to make you happy, to have confidence in them going forward? Is it Boca out? Is it Eels out? Let us know in the comments below. But guys, that's the episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.